Yes, you're listening to the dead. No. Relax, not in your own home. Or at least I don't think. In this video, right now, you are listening to the voices of the dead. And you're probably thinking by this point, Linwood, which is me, I'm Linwood. What do you mean by that? What do you mean we're listening to the voices of the dead? I don't hear anything. Do you? There. Now, I still think there's about one bird out there, but that's not what I'm referring to. The birds you were just listening to have been probably dead for at least a couple years. That was an old recording that I took myself. See, and that's half the thing. Now, you might think, Linwood, that's really unfair. You played on our assumption when you said you were listening to the voices of dead, that we were listening to the voices of dead people. Yes, this is Folklore Rants. Storytelling, a good part of it, is playing on audiences' assumptions. Because sometimes the story isn't the story you're being told. It's being told what the story is. You're being told a story right now, and you might be thinking, well, yeah, you're talking, you're kind of telling us a story. No, not that story. This one. One more time. Those colors weren't real. I am not naturally desaturated, as I would like to be, but, you know, it happens. That's kind of ugly. Hang on a second. This is an uncut video. Just because videos are uncut and it gives you that kind of conversational, informal, experience what it is, doesn't mean that they're not edited. You might say that's kind of deceptive. Well, that's what storytelling is. It's very deceptive. But not deceptive in the bad way. Deceptive in the kind of good, you're kind of surprised way. Now, you're probably thinking about this. Wait, if he's not telling, if the birds are dead and those aren't the right colors, what else is he not telling us? Well, for one, there's paint on my fingers. I didn't tell y'all about that. And if you haven't been to glimpse it, how do you even know that I was painting? How do you know I just didn't dip my fingers in some whiteout and for whatever reason left this fingernail clear? See, you don't know. And that's half the joy of storytelling, being surprised by what you do know, what you don't know, and what you think you knew, but you don't really know, okay? I used to work in ethics and compliance, a wonderful occupation that I suggest nobody ever try out for themselves. A good part of my job was just taking reports from folks complaining about the rain and the rats and everything going on in the workplace. And I consistently noticed when every time somebody talked about their boss, they would do it like this. Oh, my boss is a jerk. Yesterday he said, you gotta do this and you gotta do that. They always talked about their superior in some kind of squeaky, whiny voice. So much so, I had to start saying, sir or ma'am, please refrain from doing voices over the ethics line. Now, they're telling me something true, right? They're telling me, but they've embellished it. And they didn't even have to think about embellishing it. It just sort of happened. So there is this deceptive quality of storytelling that is not only present, but somehow innate. And even sometimes when we're not telling stories, we use it. Now, the real test is, what else am I not telling you? What is the story here? Is it just what I'm saying? Am I a story? Is this even not my shirt? Did I just put this on before I started recording? Is this not my voice? Is this not how I act in real life? That is the joy. If you want to find out any of those answers, I suggest you subscribe.